Good evening. I'd like to call our Newington Board of Education meeting to order for Wednesday, January 14th, 2026. The time is 7:01 p.m. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Deb, would you please call the roll?
Mary Lee
Here.
John Halloran,
Here.
Marissa Lindsay,
Here.
Timothy Milton,
Here.
Amy Parati,
Here.
Sam Sharma,
Here.
Brian Skibo,
Here.
Dr. Gail Stanley,
Here.
Jessica Weaver.
Here. Thank you. Our first item is our everyday hero. Turn it over to Dr. Brummett.
Thank you very much. Let me just get the page booted up here. All right. I am pleased to announce that our everyday hero today, or for this board meeting, is Mr. Tom Fravel, who's joined us right over here. And this is a special and unique honor. But Mr. Fravel was comfortable with us honoring him in this way. This was submitted by both Anne Marie Sunderland and Christina Redmond, who wanted to honor Tom for the work he's done to support our program that Christina Redmond runs about mental health awareness, drug awareness. So let me describe what Ms. Redmond has to say about Mr. Fravel. Tom and I first connected through the unfortunate but deeply meaningful bond of addiction and the ways it has impacted our lives, particularly after my brother passed away in 2019. That shared understanding became the foundation of something truly transformative for our students. 2.5 years ago, when I began the mental health seminar course, my goal was to move beyond textbooks and statistics and give students access to real stories from real people. I knew that authentic lived experience would create understanding in a way that no lesson plan could. When I asked Tom if he would be willing to speak to students, he agreed without hesitation. Since the first visit, Tom has spoken to every section of the mental health seminar course for the past 2.5 years. We host several guest speakers throughout the course, but without exception, Tom is the speaker students reference as the most impactful. He speaks to them with honesty, humility, and courage, sharing his story of substance use and addiction that began as early as 7th grade, as well as the generational impact addiction had within his family. He shares a story with vulnerability, truth, and compassion, never minimizing the pain, yet always emphasizing hope and recovery. His words leave a lasting impression on every student through connection and understanding. Students regularly reflect that Tom's story helped them understand that addiction can affect anyone and begin at any age. Many say they will always remember his message and that it changed the way they view others, reminding them that you never truly know what someone has experienced. Most importantly, Tom gives students hope that recovery is possible, that asking for help is a strength, and that speaking about personal struggles can be life-changing. Students have shared reflections such as, Mr. Fravel was the most impactful speaker. I learned how addiction can start so young and take away so many people and things that you love. Hearing someone's story in person made it real. It wasn't just a video, it was someone right in front of me. Listening to someone who survived addiction made me realize I shouldn't be afraid to talk about my own hardships. Hearing Mr. Fravel's story broke my heart, but also inspired me. Now I know recovery is possible. Tom does far more than tell a story, he saves lives. I cannot thank Tom enough for his courage, honesty, and selflessness. He has made a profound difference within our school community, and his lived experience has been a source of education, compassion, and hope for all of us. He truly embodies what it means to be an everyday hero.
Deb, we'll just,
Thank you.
come over here. Congratulations. Yeah, we're gonna just have a quick pic.
Picture time.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations. I'll open up for board comments. Ms. Beatrice?
Mr. Fravel, I just can't really find the words to tell you how impactful that statement was. We are so fortunate that at all of our board meetings, we have the pleasure of recognizing special people who do the best things possible for our students and for our staff. But I'm trying to reach back, and I can't remember hearing a nomination statement as powerful as the one that I just heard. I'm struck by your courage, your resilience, your honesty, and the lessons and the openness that you are showing our students will last them for a lifetime. They're going to impact our kids in our community in ways that we can't even begin to think of. So thank you so much for all that you do, and good luck in every way that you are making our kids and our community so special. Thank you.
Mr. Holleran?
Thank you so much, Tom. I apologize I can't be there in person. I'm a little under the weather today. But as someone who grew up with addiction in their family, one of the stigmas is that you're going through it alone. And it's embarrassing. And I think by erasing that stigma and realizing that we can help each other out, that's where recovery and healing really begins. So the work you do is uncalculable in the way it can change somebody's life. Thank you very, very much.
Ms. Weaver?
Oh, Mr. Fravel, I want to say thank you so much. I do recall during my time at NHS seeing your friendly face around the gym and the calf. But I think, as Ms. Beatrice said, this award started out, I think, as a way to highlight teachers nominating teachers and staff members and really showing what maybe folks don't see out in the community, all of what our staff does. The true behind the scenes grind. As of late, it has really been saving literal lives, including yours. And I think, we've really elevated hero status here. And it's been an absolute pleasure to have Ms. Redmond here before talking about the impact and having students come here at the board to talk, as well as at Youth Adult Council that I sit on, to hear the true impact that you have with your story. So thank you for your vulnerability. Thank you for honestly, the bravery to be able to talk about your story and to be able to help this next generation. We had, when Ms. Redmond came, I think there were a lot of statistics that were shared just from the classes and how many Newington students are impacted by addiction, whether themselves or in their families or in their community. And I think it's something that was illuminating to students, but also I think maybe to those of us who had that presentation at the board table, that, you just never know. And I think all of this awareness we've seen, I think it's one of the hottest classes on our books for a reason. So just thank you for what you've done. I think it's going to be one that generations of kids talk about when they come back here every so often, to say that that was the class that made it and that was the story. So I can't thank you enough, but also I know that I'll say thank you on behalf of the students that I know are already grateful. So congratulations.
Dr. Stanley?
I just wanted to also say thank you so much. Everybody has said so many nice things about you, and I totally agree. As a person who cares and sees this struggle firsthand, there's a lot of avoidance and disbelief from people and their families. And to see somebody who is so candid and so open, and that is very impactful for these students. And you make such a difference for this community. You walk the walk and you talk the talk. And thank you so much for doing that.
Mr. Sharma?
Hey, Tom, so thank you so much. I'm just gonna, echo what everyone else said. So thank you for everything you do, and thank you for going above and beyond. Thanks.
And I'll just add to everyone, Mr. Newton, did you have? Go ahead.
I come from a background in law enforcement, and I can say that the kids, everybody's a child to me, but they reflect and they see what's around them. And when they see real life experiences and what the results and what the end paths can be or cannot be, I think it makes our youth look in the mirror and say, is this for me? And I think that's important. They have to have that option to know that they're not alone, one, and two, there are methods to solve it. So thank you.
And I'll just add, I think when Ms. Redmond first came to us, it was with Stop the Stigma Club before her, this program had a grant funding, and we hope to continue it in the future. But I think the most important thing that was in the write-up and what you do every day is just like stop the stigma and talk about it and be open. So I thank you for your courage and you walk around the halls all the time. You're seeing all these students and knowing that you're making a difference and they can know something personal about you, and it's really brave to share that and still come to work every day. And so I just want to thank you for sharing your story and being a hero and everything you've been through and sharing that with everyone else. So thank you so much, and well-deserved award. Thank you. All right, I will open up to for public participation. So any member of the public in person or online can either come to the end of the table or raise your hand to be recognized. You have 4 minutes to speak on any matter related to board business, board responsibilities. I am not seeing anyone online who wishes to speak. No one here? No? Okay. Moving on, we have our student representatives from the high school, Abby and Danny. Take it away.
Hi, everyone. So for our presentation this week, we have a couple of new things, but just to get started, we want to talk about what's going on at the high school right now. So right now we have our midterms coming up next week. So students have been working to study and get their study guides done in class. And something new this year that Ms. Tigno was able to organize is that on Friday, the 23rd, from 12 to 1:30 in the gym, we're going to be having 4 baby goats and a baby lamb from Ozakita Acres Farm in Manchester come to help with stress relief and just kind of add a fun aspect to midterms after all the stress. So that'll be really cool. And we're really excited for that. And then we have course selection coming up for freshmen, sophomores, and juniors. So they've been working to talk about AP classes, honors classes, and just the options that they have for next school year. And then we have the local scholarship booklet just opened up for seniors. So we have a few months to work on that and submit any applications to be considered for local scholarships. So I've started working on that. I know a lot of my friends have too. And then we have our Voices of Change program in March. So Ms. Tigno just put out the form to student leaders and students in the building who might be interested in facilitating it. And it's a program that we have every year. It's changed names, but it still has the same general message. And it's for sophomores to be able to talk about bullying and the importance of just having an open and welcoming community at our school. So once the facilitators are selected, we're going to be doing trainings in February, and then the event's going to be in March. And then we had Tinsel Tigno come back right before break. So it was really fun to see her come back. And she came in the first day on a fire truck. So that was super cool. And yeah.
More with the midterms, Link Crew is hosting a midterm review for any underclassmen who are feeling stressed about studying. And it's called Donut Stress, where they'll be handing out donuts and helping underclassmen study for their midterms. Also, FBLA is preparing their winter dance, which they'll be having in February or March. And DECA had their mock competition tonight. And a lot of different clubs are preparing for their state conventions that are going to be happening around this time, including HOSA, DECA, and FBLA.
So for our middle school update for this month, we reached out to their leadership and just wanted to get some updates to share with you guys. So for Kellogg, for their musical, they're going to be doing Legally Blonde, and that's coming up on February 26th through the 28th. So we just wanted to shout that out so everyone can go support. And then they're continuing with sports like floor hockey and basketball, and students have been really loving that, so they've been able to continue. And then their holiday drive was a success, just like Wallace's. They've been doing a lot of drives, so it's been really cool to see. And then they'll be starting a boys choir, which will be really cool to get all the boys into music and just introduce them to choir before going to the high school level.
At Wallace, there's been similar activities, but one of the notable events is on the 16th, there'll be 12 8th grade students who are going to be attending a workshop at SCSU to collaborate on leadership development. And some of their achievements that they've had the past month is they raised $577 for CCMC on PJ Day. They donated over 1,000 items to the Newington Human Services when they hosted their Thanksgiving food drive, which we had pictures of at our last meeting. And they also have started a ski club, and their first outing was on January 9th, and they'll be continuing every Friday until the end of February. And then we've also heard that students in the 7th and 8th grade have reported loving the new learning environment with their classrooms as well as their lockers.
And then for our special shouts for this month, we have Josiah Sims, who's a senior, and he scored his 1,000th career point, which is a really big deal, so we celebrated him. And then Anaya Ross, Ari Sturgakis, Brooklyn Crawford, and Olivia Canaperi broke an indoor track record at the school, so that was really exciting. And then girls basketball honored the Martins family for their pink out night, just to show support for the family.
And this is on topic with our everyday hero, Mr. Fravel, but I know we've been having requests about wondering about mental health at the high school, so we made a short little report for you guys to listen on. But some of the data that we've got from Miss Tigno and especially Miss Redmond, who runs the mental health seminar class, some general comments from a survey that was sent out that had about 500 responses was that there's about 95% of the students that feel somewhat comfortable or completely comfortable sharing thoughts and ideas with adults at NHS. And close to 100% students feel that they matter in the building. And some of the academic issues that people have reported having includes anxiety, low energy, exhaustion, and fear of failure. And other key mental health issues that people have talked about and reported out include eating disorders, body image, social media issues, depression, anxiety, and substance abuse. And Ms. Redmond also commented on there's a lot of students who are wondering about undiagnosed conditions that they may have, and they've been finding different connections and different people they can talk to help get the help they need.
So something Ms. Rodman was also able to share with us was the different resources that students have at the high school for these issues and these concerns that they may have. So we have counselors, social workers, school psychologists, and admin that are all really open to talking about mental health and different support systems for students. And then Ms. Redmond's mental health class is a huge thing and a huge resource we have at the high school. So this fall, she has 3 classes, and because of the flexible curriculum, she's kind of able to talk about what students find important. So this semester, they've been talking a lot about eating disorders, body image, depression, and anxiety. And through the class, they're able to learn a lot about social awareness and empathy. And one thing that she said to us that a lot of students mentioned is just that you never know what others are going through. So even if a student isn't necessarily experiencing one of these issues themselves, they're able to understand others' perspectives and how others might be going through it. And then they were able to apply it to the real world. So they have a lot of speakers come in, which is really cool. They've had people from Interval House, Montanito, the Connecticut Council on Gambling, CCAR, and they've had QPR training and certification, which has been really cool. And we thought that was really interesting to hear. So they have a lot of applications into the real world. And then Miss Redmond, just in her role and as a figure at the high school, is really important as well. So she works a lot with substance use and drug and alcohol. So in the past, students who were caught with substances were expelled from the high school, and then they were just left at home and they didn't really have a lot of resources to be able to help themselves. But with Miss Redmond and her position, they're able to be kept in school and talk with her and get some of those resources. So she's able to make outside referrals to help those students. And her grant is up, but with her position, she's able to help a lot of students. And since last May, she was able to make 18 outside referrals. So that's 18 students that were able to stay in school and get the help they needed. So her position is just showing a direct impact to student needs and the way that we can help students at this high school. And then aside from Miss Redmond's class and her position, we have the Voices of Change program, which we mentioned. So everyone at the high school goes through that. Everyone knows what it is, and it always has a really big impact, just how we can help others and the impact that we have on others. And then we also have Mental Health Week in assemblies and panels throughout the year. So in March, we have our addiction seminar with Stephen Hill. In the past, we've had Chris Herron, and we always get really positive feedback from it because it's just a way for students to see those firsthand experiences and see that there's a way out and that there's something on the other side, there's hope for them. So it always has a really big impact on the students. And that's all we have for you guys today. But if you have any questions or comments about what we shared, we'd love to answer anything.
Thank you so much. Are there any comments or questions from the board? Ms. Weaver?
I just always have to say, thank you guys so much. This was even more comprehensive than the last. You keep upping it, guys. I mean, come on. I just want to say thank you for that follow-up. I think it's really important that we continue to kind of mesh that out and see and flesh that out and see what our students are feeling. But that's very powerful statistics. So thank you for doing all of that. And also just want to say thank you for highlighting all the middle school things because I think that's really exciting stuff. And as always, everyone can watch this back so everyone can see those presentations too in the community to see all the great work that you guys are doing. And I hope you guys make it through midterms week just fine.
You probably don't have to take midterms. I know. So or is it finals? If you get above a 90 in the class, right? Final. Okay, final. But maybe you have electives. I don't know. Okay. Anyone else? I'll just say I really loved Mr. Holland, you can go after me. I loved the update on the mental health in the high school, and I think it's great that you sent out or had the results of the survey. Definitely helps us when we enter budget season to really understand that mental health is such a big issue. You know, we have to make sure that everyone is able to learn in order for them to learn, and mental health is a huge part of that. So thank you for highlighting that for us, and we will probably be using some of those results when we look to fund positions in the future. I did attend Chris Herron's presentation, I think it was last year, and actually got hours from my internship because I was like, hey, I want to go see this. And so like it was a really great presentation, and we're very lucky to have him here and all the things that Miss Redmond has been able to do, I think, bring people into not just our classes, but for the whole school too. And you also brought up the substance use and expulsion versus coming in school and having that support. I think that's also just another really important thing to highlight for us. So Dr. Brummer, I hope you're taking notes. And thank you for being here. Mr. Holleran, you can go ahead.
Thank you. Amy, I think you said just about everything I was going to. Thank you for the update on mental health. The survey is very valuable to us. Appreciate you guys putting in the time to do this for the board meetings. It is you who we work for. So thank you for volunteering to do this, and good luck with midterms.
Thank you. Thank you so, also, I was at the DECA mock competition. Dr. Bremmett stepped in for a minute too. I was asked to be a judge and I was like, I've never done this before. I have no idea what I'm doing, but it was really fun. And Abby, I didn't get to see your presentation, but some of your peers I saw, and it was very impressive to see like how hard you guys work. So like, I didn't realize this, but for your competitions, you get like the scenario like 10 minutes before you go. And then you have to like present this whole thing for 10 minutes and have, just all these, it's just really impressive how much you have to prepare for, but you don't know what you're walking into. So I thought that it was really great. And Ms. Miller did an excellent job organizing it, went very smoothly. But good luck in your competition coming up and everything else you guys are doing. So
Thank you, everybody, especially everyone on the board and everyone here. We appreciate all your time.
Yeah, thank you guys so much.
thank you. Okay, so we have not had finance or facility meetings. Ms. Viva, did you want to give a brief update on
Yeah, literally one
policy?
sentence. I know we're on tight schedule here. So we met on Monday, our first policy meeting of the year, and we got over some of our bylaws. So what we'll do, and we'll figure out and coordinate with the chair and with the superintendent on presenting our next policies, and then looking at that probably within our budget season. But noting that February is a little jam-packed, we'll have our next meeting on March 2nd at 6:30 p.m. So to come.
Okay, thank you. And then just a brief update on our curriculum committee meeting, which was on December 11th. We're actually meeting again next Tuesday at 6:30 in this room, Helen Nelson room, for anyone interested. But our meeting on the 11th was very focused on 7th grade math and kind of taking a step back, revisiting the research and the reasons, the why the decision was made. It was a really fun meeting. It was very interactive. We got a whole bunch of materials and we're able to like pick out the key points that really resonated with us, taking into consideration some of the things that we've heard along the way from some parents and staff going back since, I think, when was it, May, June, in our meeting in July. So we had a really good conversation about basically the why for the modernization of the math pathway. Our next meeting will be to review what came out of that meeting, kind of a condensed document that is going to explain the details, the evolution, and the path moving forward. So that will be next Tuesday. Questions? All right. Showtime. All right, we have some special guests here from Anna Reynolds. Mr. Smith, Dr. Remmert.
Yes, I'd like to welcome Mr. Smith to the podium and Ms. Figueredo to talk through what we are going to be learning today from our visitors from Anna Reynolds. But I would like to commend our students and their families here. I know you had to wait about a half hour to go on, and Rory would be very proud of your behavior. Rory could have come tonight, but he must be resting, I think. Regardless, in all sincerity, ladies and gentlemen, you did a lovely job waiting and it's very much appreciated. And we look forward to hearing from you tonight. Mr. Smith, take it away.
So I'm going to be very brief. I'm going to turn over to Mrs. Figueredo and the students and kind of have you get you to work. But for those of you that were on the board last year, if you recall, when Anna Reynolds came, we were talking about play-based learning, since it was a very new initiative and policy, and had kindergarten friends with us. And today, really thinking about was the evolution of now. This past summer, we, in our instructional guidelines in the elementary level, shifted slightly to include time for extended enrichment, play-based learning in all of the grade levels. And so when I was developing the schedule in the summer, I was very mindful about how could I find that time and maximize our math interventionist, Mrs. Figueredo, and create this block of time that she could be working with students to really extend some of the learning. And so when I did the schedule and I sent it out, I hadn't even told Mrs. Figueredo about it, but I just kind of said like it's my way of seeing like play-based learning meets building thinking classrooms, which you kind of learned about, I think some of you in the past from the middle school and the learning pit. And that was all I kind of put on the schedule. And I get 5 minutes after the schedule went out and the first time she saw it, I get a message from her. She's already has a slew of ideas, and she just took what I thought would be something small and exciting for kids and created this unbelievable, amazing, exciting learning opportunity that you're going to kind of be able to hear about that really combines those three features, creates this challenging time for students that starts the morning off. And there's times I walk down that hallway, they are there waiting at 8:40 right when they come in, and she's still on bus duty kind of getting there. So this is just opportunity for you to see how that play-based learning really evolves through the years and what does that look like. So I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Figueredo, and then she's going to have the students come up and do some things with you.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. I want to first say thank you to the board for having us. Thank you to everybody who's here with your support, but a special shout out to all of the grown-ups who provided transportation tonight. So thank you very much for that. So before I dig into this, why don't I introduce some of my fellow participants here. We have Asher over there. You can just kind of wave and then I'll have you guys come up later. Okay, there's Asher. Over there we have Andre. Andre, there he is. We have Eloise in the back, right? Oh, over here we have Hamsika, Manaswini, Talia, Nestor, and Summer. These will be my fellow facilitators for the evening, okay? But I want to just give, Mr. Smith kind of gave a really great background. I'm going to go a little bit into some more detail here just about the basis for our work here at Anna Reynolds. So our building thinking classrooms is really a big part of this foundation. So one of my jobs is really to provide a thinking task. And with a thinking task, it's really meant to have the kids think deeply, and it's not really just kind of a quick answer. It's really think deeply, collaborate, and you'll see kind of what I mean in a minute with these thinking tasks. Also, visibly random groupings. This allows the students to have to sometimes work with somebody they might not be that familiar with, maybe not their best friend, but have to get together and collaborate in a meaningful way. When I'm popping around from group to group, I never provide any answers. I'm always kind of responding with, that's great, keep thinking, keep thinking. And this helps the students see where they are going and where they currently are. So that's kind of, I kind of think about Wendy Krause and her chair. This is her stool. I kind of think about it like this. So that's one leg of the stool. The other one is the play-based learning. Of course, all of this foundation is really in the play-based learning. So it promotes a true love of learning. Like Mr. Smith said, sometimes these kids are here before I am ready to go. And at times I will see some kids in the hallway and I say, are we going to meet today? When are we meeting? What are we doing? And they really want to know the schedule. They really are ready to dig into it. This is a true cooperative play, which is the most advanced stage of play. It is truly student-directed, process-oriented, and it fosters creativity and imagination. I can't tell you how many times the students have amazed me with their imagination, and I've caught myself saying so many times, I never would have thought about that. That's an amazing idea. I never would have thought about that. And then it also promotes language development, social emotional skills, and the fine motor skills. A lot of the social emotional skills and language development comes from the amount of collaboration that has to occur. So that's my second leg, or the piece of the puzzle here. And then the last part is the learning challenge. And that's really focused in on the learning pit, and that sometimes you have to go through productive struggle, and you might fall into that pit, and it might be difficult and it might be challenging, but you have to persevere to get through. So this is really the kind of the foundation of our work. So now I'd like to call up some of my friends, all of my fellow facilitators, to come on up and help. And instead of having me stand up here and talk to you guys, we thought that you could participate in one of these learning and thinking tasks, okay? So before we get into groups, come on up, everybody. Let's see if we can squeeze up here. So I'm gonna have two of my fellow facilitators help me with something. It's actually Mr. Smith. Can you grab me those dominoes right there? Thank you. All right, so one of the ways that we're putting students into random groupings is we pass out dominoes, and I'm gonna have some of my fellow participants, facilitators help me with this. So I have Eloise, you're going to do the passing. And then Hamsika, did you want to explain to everybody how the domino?
You get a domino, and then when you find a partner, that's basically when you found someone with the same number as you on a domino.
Exactly. So where everybody's going to take a domino, and then you're going to get up, move around, and find your partner that has the same number or value on your domino. Okay, so that's going to be step one. So you might not be in the same seats that you're in now, so we're going to have to be comfortable kind of moving around a little bit. Okay, so Eloise, go ahead. You can pass out dominoes to everyone. Actually, can we keep it there, Dr. Bennett? What previous one? Yep, that's perfect. Thank you, Eloise. Sure. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, perfect. So the next step is you're going to have to get up and find your partner. Okay, and actually based on the number of dominoes we still have, some of you might not have a partner. In that case, you can join whatever group you like. Okay, so get up and see if you can find your partner. Okay, so it looks like we're almost settled. Here is your job. You are going to explore, design, create, play, think, communicate, problem solve, and of course, have fun. Okay, Dr. Brummett? Thank you. Hey, Andre?
The problem, there is a village on top of a mountain without easy access to fresh water. Far below, there is a lake full of fresh water. The task, design and build a machine that can deliver water from the lake below to the people on top of the mountain.
In a minute, we will pass out materials. Normally, our kids would have several weeks to work on this project. Clearly, we don't have that, so we'll go with about 10 minutes. Okay, so let's see what you can accomplish in 10 minutes. All of my fellow facilitators here are going to help me pass out materials. You have access to anything that you like. You can combine things from different containers, any way you want to do it. Okay, all right, let's go pass some things out. Okay.
I told everyone passing out. I told everyone passing out.
Water.
That's okay, hon. We'll get it. We pass those out. You can take whatever you want. So typically, you can take what you want and then get up and move somewhere and get something else. It's really up to you, whatever tools and materials you want to use. You can combine them, you can stick with one container, totally up to you. Great job. Mhm. Great job. How do you think it's going? Good so far? That's okay, honey. Do you want to go find that? Now, the next step is what? Now you have your cards. Go hop around to the groups and see what they're doing, okay? So go hop around to the groups and see what they're doing. You have your card, Summer, so go hop around and ask the questions, okay? That's started. You ready, buddy? You got your card. Okay? Just jump in. You got this.
Is the other.
Oh, no, I don't even know that.
I like that.
What's the best part is that at the end, when they're all exploring, we all talk about it, and you're not gonna have time to do that. But they really like.
Do the
teach
kids
each
have to
other's
get in
work.
there and help them?
So the kids are being me now. They're asking the purposeful questions and going around from group to
I'll go
group.
take pictures.
Yeah.
for you.
Oh, you're the best. All right. So. Remember, just hop. You can just hop right in. So if you see a group working, you see a group working. Okay. How's it going? Did you get through a couple groups? Okay. Keep going. So you can get to all the different groups and ask questions. Okay. Guys, get through a couple groups. All right. Is it okay?
I just got one.
You're okay? Great.
It's a serious competition.
It is. Yes, it's very fun, isn't it? What are you doing? So you're talking about something.
Give an idea.
Oh, what is it?
You can
All right.
collect the water, throw it in.
Yeah.
That's a very good. How you doing? Did you find a lot of groups to go ask questions to? Right? You can just hop right in and say, right? You can ask your first question. Tell me about your design, right? Because grown-ups are kind of loud, you want to step in there with like a nice big voice. You want to be like, okay, you got it.
Who are you? Let me someone.
Water goes in here.
Actually, do you find some groups?
Yeah, I found one more.
One more?
Try and get one.
Yeah, try and get one more. Remember?
I ain't bringing no water into this. That'll be a problem. We'll put a filter in front of it.
I see a group who can go to, okay, see Dr. Brummets group? You can go in there and you can ask those questions. Go ahead, you got it.
Why not? So, where do my parents?
You done? How's it going, Montessori? Good? Awesome.
Thank you.
So I checked some, I like all of my time. Just keep thinking about all of it. So she's so cool. I have an idea. Oh, she does. She really does. She's got so many.
She's very out of the box, you're right.
Yes. What a vocabulary though too. The other day she was like, I was thinking about microgravity the other day.
I know.
I'm like, what's that weird? This is your two.
That's for the people. We're gonna give you about 2-minute warning while they have weeks. 2-minute warning. I know you have a lot of business to get through today too, so.
This is.
I think it only takes like for the online people to hear, so.
Oh, gotcha. A lot of cool ideas. Oh, thank you. So I'm wondering at this point, is there anybody who'd like to share their idea? Great. Tell us all about it. Yeah, tell us all about it. Yes. Ooh. Perfect. Perfect.
But I'll let my colleague here explain. Oh, thanks. So, well, it's not very good because since we only had 10 minutes. So these are buckets, which would of course be harder. That's Play-Doh right now. And then the gears would pull the buckets up and go dump the water into here, over the filtration, into the bucket and collect the water and then go back down and up. And continue. And this is the water. And that's the water.
Great. Thank you for sharing. Does any other team have any comments or questions for the team that just shared? Great. Thank you so much for sharing. Is there any other team who'd like to share? One more brave team. Awesome. Great. Right here.
Awesome.
So what we got over here is some type of a.
Oh, it's a big one. Pretty well.
I'm used to yelling. So what we have here is like a pumping station. This is representing the house up on the hill. And down here is the pumping station, which pumps water up into these little bowls here, and it brings it up to the house. So that's what we designed. And
thank you so much for sharing. Again, does any other team have any comments or questions for the team that just shared?
I'm like scrambling here.
Well, thank you so much for sharing and for participating in this part. Normally, when we do our groups, every single team will share, and it's really fantastic to hear the conversation that's had between the teams. So there are really purposeful, meaningful questions about one team asking another team, well, how does that part work? And why did you choose to do this? And how does that accomplish the task? So there's really, really great questioning that goes on with that. Great. So thank you for that. So if you could, Dr. Brummett, and actually, you're busy over there, Mr. Smith. Thanks. So at the end of our sharing, I will always share an actual solution. So the solution that, so actually this was a true, real problem. Archimedes, a famous mathematician, scientist, engineer, did have this problem in his life, and he designed the corkscrew. So I'm not going to share any of these videos with you, but to give background knowledge to the students, I would share these videos that would show a little bit about who Archimedes was, when he lived, what it was like during his life, why he had to design the corkscrew, how he designed the corkscrew, and then it's actually still in use today in a lot of different places. So the next step after the students understand that is we actually build a corkscrew. So we have one over here. Thank you. And I have two friends who are going to demonstrate it. Okay. Ashley, remember your part. I'm actually going to have you guys move over there by Mr. Smith so there's a little more space. That way, right? Of course, we do not have real water in here. So instead of water, we have pom-poms. Okay, so you can go see Mr. Smith. Now, if our corkscrew works, you should see, as Nestor is twisting the corkscrew, that eventually pom-poms will go from the bottom of the bucket out and fall out the top. And it does take a few twists. Nestor, just remember it has to be in there. There you go, bud. Thanks, Mr. Smith. Pom-poms are a much better choice than actual water. They coming out? There they come. Keep going, Nestor. There you go. He did, yes. Yes, there they are. All right. We have water. Thank you, Asher and Nestor. Fantastic. Great. So while I have my fellow facilitators kind of quietly collect all the materials, I'd like to just share some pictures with you of some of the work that we've done. So Dr. Brummett, you want to switch to the next slide? Perfect. So here you can see some of the students at work. Thanks, guys. You did great. So far we are working on our third unit or our third thinking task. Our first one was the corkscrew. The second one was about microgravity in space and the importance of Velcro. And the third one, I'm not going to tell you anything about because some of these students are still working on that task. So Dr. Brown, feel free to go to the next one. There we are. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Just tell me on that, so we'll organize it. Just put it right there. This is one of my favorite pictures of everybody together after our second thinking task. This one was our Velcro activity, but yes, the corkscrew one was in here. Yep, here's an example. If you go back, this one was a corkscrew.
Reverse slide.
And your reverse slide that you created, yeah? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you gotta put these away.
And one of the priorities is that all students, our goal is that all students in third and fourth grade get to experience these type of activities. So it's not just for your high, strong students. It's as we build this, continue to do. I will say one of the challenges is that everyone that I think participated in the very first one does not want to not do the next one and the one after that. So
yes,
there is
that's a challenge.
That was the very first one, bringing some students in because that helps to more lead the work as we continue to go. But some of them haven't involved in multiple tasks. Our goal really is that all students have the opportunity to participate in these challenges and these different thinking tasks.
Dr. Barber, the next couple slides are, so here's an example of our second thinking task with microgravity in space. You want to do the next one? This is the current one that we're working on, creating a spy device. The kids are very excited about that. So I won't give any clues about this one. But if you go to the next slide, these are just some of my personal reflections and takeaways. I've found that when students are provided with challenging, engaging, real world problems, where student direction, exploration, and collaboration are key components of the structure, what we set up, real meaningful learning and a true excitement to learn takes place. And just like Mr. Smith said, this is really geared for all students. It's really anyone can access this. And it's been great because I have had some students in these groups that haven't been able to shine in ways that we'd love to see them shine in the classroom. But when they come here and they become engineers and builders and artists, you can see it and they feel it. So next steps for me, I'm going to continue to develop these units of exploration, these thinking tasks. I'd love to extend this into other grades. And I'd love to share some of these foundational principles behind the building thinking classrooms and the learning challenge with other educators. And then I guess there's always the option of PD opportunities. So thank you again to everybody for participating. Thank you for all my fellow facilitators and their grown-ups. And I hope you enjoyed it. Do you have any questions or comments for either myself or any of my facilitators?
Do you have any comments or questions this evening? Yeah, I'm discombobulated.
I know, but you
But first, I just want to like give a round of applause. I just want to give a round of applause to all our students here. You guys are absolutely incredible. Your presence, the way you communicate, as well as your way you're inquiring about things. I always get so hopeful and just so joyful about what you do, not only as you reflect your school, your classroom, but also the community. I think you guys are shining stars, and also will, most of you, I think, are gonna just probably build rocket ships and go to space, because I mean, some of those things are really incredible.
And I just want to say thank you also to the parents for coming out and doing this. This is really, I think what Dr. Roman does with these is we try and really highlight, especially, and you all can watch this back on YouTube. And when you're an engineer graduating from MIT, you can be like, look what I did. But I think it's really just a great example of the innovation that our educators have. So thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Smith, for bringing this to us and to the community just to learn. Sometimes people don't know what's actually going on in our classrooms and how are we thinking about ways, especially as the world changes, how we can continue to foster critical thinkers. And I think that's really what we're trying to do and what you are absolutely, I think, succeeding at. So thank you for bringing this to us. I'm now like, man, I need to go pick up some Magna-Tiles. So thank you. Ms. Beatrice.
Again, I'm struck by how you collaborate. When I was your age, when we were doing math, we literally had to memorize the tables. And I don't know, I'm probably older than most everybody here, but we sat individually and we had to just memorize our subtraction, addition, multiplication, and division tables. And there was no sense of collaboration. There was no explanation of how these foundations are going to help us and build upon that learning. And I'm struck how the teamwork piece of it, how everybody empowers and lifts their teammates up, but how all the pieces fit together in a way that's special and unique to each individual learner. And that is just incredible. And I'm just so proud of the work that you and your staff and our students are doing. We are going to have just amazing, amazing, brilliant kids moving on to even better and bigger things. So thank you very, very much.
Ms. Lindsay?
I just want to say your questions for us was right on the money because you helped us figure out our thing even better because we had no clue about a filtration we weren't thinking of. We weren't thinking of what else? The bucket we weren't thinking of. We had to collect it. You guys like asked us questions that helped us think more out of the box and what to do. And very proud of you guys for coming up to us because not even in my day we would not be going to talk to strangers, and well, we all be like, do we have to? So you guys are wonderful. The parents, you guys are amazing. That the support you guys are giving your kids, and thank you for coming out and doing this with us. This was fun.
I just have a question. Is there how long are the units? Like how long do they have on each?
So typically it goes for about 5 to 6 weeks. When we get towards the end of that 5-week period, I'll typically ask who else needs more time, and I might give them another day or two. I see the students 3 days a week, first thing in the morning, and it's Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. And sometimes I have a meeting one of those days, and if we don't meet, then, you know, it's a big deal and everyone's asking me why we didn't meet. And so then we maybe push it back a little bit, but it's typically about 5 to 6 weeks.
Okay, so every student in 3rd and 4th grade is getting a unit
That's the
for
idea.
this school
Yep,
year, and
that's
then
the
in
idea.
4th grade they'll get the next one.
Yep.
Or another one.
Well, actually, this is a combination of 3rd and 4th.
Oh, like
grade.
together?
Yep, together.
Oh, cute.
Yep. Yep. So which makes.
That's our goal with our way of starting a little bit later and the amount of time we may not get, but our goal is that, and so long term, that's opportunity for everyone to just.
Yeah. It's very awesome. Okay. And the kids enjoy it? Do you guys all like it? Yeah. Yeah.
Like Mr.
Good.
Smith said, sometimes they are there before I'm even down the hallway with all of my things. So you're like, let's go. And they're already in the closet,
pretty
getting all
telling.
their materials ready to go. So yeah, we love it.
That's
Well,
awesome.
an amazing presentation. How about another round of applause for our 3rd and 4th graders? Thank you very much. Beautifully done.
Thank you so much.
I do have a domino here.
Oh, you have a domino.
That's true. Maybe if there are dominoes out, I'll, collect the rest. Thank you.
All right, got collected. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Get a good night's sleep for tomorrow's school.
Oh my God.
Ah.
Yeah. Yeah. She said older people then fourth grade.
They probably don't have a concept of like where that is or any of that, so all of us sitting on the table. She was not happy for it. Yeah. Very well.
Well, I remember in West Hartford, we did something with the rector sets.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. But it would be the shop.
Okay. Oh, I was her, Jack.
She's like, that's fun. Gotta try and problem solve.
Oh, God, yeah.
Okay, back to business. Back to business. All right, so our next item of business is a report on staff allocation and class size for 25-26.
Well, if you thought solving real world problems and corkscrews was fun, wait till you get a load of staff allocation. So, I open this with just trying to set the table for you in the context of this report. This report, this board meeting, is to share with you where we are currently with staff allocation and class size. So you'll see where we were last year and where we are right now. That's important information for you to consider when next board meeting I share with you what we're projecting for next year. So we'll take all the information from tonight. I'll ask that you keep it with you. And then when I share with you next board meeting, what our projections are looking like for next year, all of that's very relevant and important for you to consider when you're thinking about passing a budget for next school year, right? So all kind of fitting right in line with the budgeting process. That being said, this report does just that. We focus primarily on the certified, and when we say non-certified staff, we do not mean our hourly employees. What we are focused more on would be other union employees that we have, such as like custodians, secretaries, things like that. But the report is primarily focused on certified staff, which are folks that are working directly with our students, classroom teachers, and providing services to our students that might be outside of the classroom, but all certified educators. So that being said, between last November 2024 and throughout this whole summer to September 1st, we hired and filled 53 positions during that time frame. 40 were certified staff and 13 were non-certified staff. Of the 40 certified positions, there were 38 contracted positions, and then 2 were long-term substitutes, meaning 2 of our current contracted positions weren't coming back for this school year, so we had to fill those positions with long-term subs. Some of the results and the reasons why we had to fill so many positions is accounted for in the paragraph underneath that. So we had 11 vacancies were due to resignations, 13 were retirements, 7 were transfers, so movements within the district, 2 leaves of absences, that would account for what I shared with you earlier, and 7 were new positions. We had 1 full-time math interventionist at Ruth Chafee, 1 full-time psychologist at Newington High School, 1 full-time special education teacher at Newington High School, a full-time special education teacher, which was grant funded at John Wallace, and 1 full-time teacher, bilingual teacher, which is district-wide, and that's housed at John Wallace, but services some of our students district-wide. That, if you all recall who've been on the board, the reason for that is because we meet a certain criteria of students who speak 2 languages, and English not being their primary, and so we are required by state statute to provide bilingual teacher support for those students. We also had a .20 world language teacher. You may recall, some of you last year, we had Sheila Houlihan retire from Newington High School, our Latin teacher. We did have a cohort of seniors who needed to finish Latin for their senior year this year, and we wanted them to be able to finish and complete their world language requirements. So we did ask Sheila if she would stay with us for just a .2 to finish this one group off. Be accepted kindly, and those students will get the credits that they need so they can move that work forward. And then that will no longer exist at point two after this year. And then we had one full-time elementary teacher at Elizabeth Green. Among the non-certified vacancies, there were 3 resignations, 4 retirements, and 5 transfers, and 1 vacancy to an employee passing away, unfortunately. So with all that said, I would love to turn to the next page and just share with you a couple of areas where you might see some increases in the numbers and some of what I spoke to a little bit already. If you are on the page that shows and lists all of our programs by school, you'll see art starting us off and career vocational ed. As you go down, you'll find mathematics intervention, exactly what the teacher this evening does. We did improve in that area in interventionists. That was 1 full-time interventionist at Ruth Chafee's school and a 0.8 full-time at John Wallace. We did have a reduction of 0.40 at NHS because there was a shift from 1 teacher teaching 0.40 intervention and now just going back full-time math. And then we had another teacher who taught the other 2 going full-time intervention. So we had some shifts up there. So that would account for the total position changes that happened there in math intervention. If you continue down 2 more, you'll have the Aerospace Academy. You'll see a reduction there. We did not lose staff. We had less numbers and we had a greater need in some of the mathematics and science courses. So our academy teachers, instead of teaching as much academy as they previously did, some of their time has been reallocated over to the math and sciences. So that's what happened there. If you keep going further down, you have the school psychologists. You'll see an increase there. I mentioned that earlier. We did improve that. The board approved a full-time school psychologist at Newington High School for this school year. And so we did hire successfully a great new employee there. Going 2 more down under special education, you'll see a reduction. We did not necessarily reduce special education, but it is a reallocation of staff. 1 full-time special education staff member did go, for special education, what we did is we've pulled out all of the K-4 extension program and we made that their own. So those are all special education teachers right now who do our K-4 extension programs at the elementary schools, and we clustered them into 1 group. So we just reallocated and brought those folks into a new place. And we also created the preschool, which some of our staff there are special education teachers as well. So you'll see a heading right under special education, which is preschool. That's brand new. We had those folks either allocated all throughout the teachers if they were classroom teachers, or in special education if they were special education teachers. Now we've consolidated them into preschool so we can account for our preschool program, and that will show clearly for you all. So it's clear to everyone, what do we have for preschool? Because that was a question we would constantly get. And you see the increase in the bilingual teacher right underneath that. That is a new line too. We've never had that position before, but due to legislative mandate, we are required to have that. You go a little further down, you have a speech clinician. We did go up 0.5 at Newington High School to account for an increase in speech there. And then as you keep going down, you'll see some shifts I talked about at John Wallace. Those shifts are because the 2 academy teachers went from being in the academy, and that allocation now went into the classroom. So you see the classroom teacher portion increase there. Lastly, you'll see for Elizabeth Green, Anna Reynolds, John Patterson, and Ruth Chafee, the classrooms do go down. And that accounts for all those teachers coming out of those numbers and going into the preschool numbers. I feel like I know what I said, but I said a lot. So I'll pause there and offer an opportunity for any questions that you might have about staff allocation. What gets a little challenging and why I try to explain it both up front and again in more detail as we go down A lot of times, a lot of it is due to some reallocations, some new hires. So I try to put that all up front so you can go back and review that and then explain it as we go. But when we do have to have teacher assignments move from year to year, just to kind of navigate the ebbs and flow of either course selection, what students choose, or enrollment, it does look a little different, but that's how we have to account for where we're putting our folks.
So for aerospace, the program itself and the students in the program didn't change. It was just the teachers are teaching more than just aerospace.
Correct. So we find that we don't always need as many sections at times. And so at times when we have a bigger need for maybe an algebra for more students than just the aerospace, we reallocate them to manage both.
Okay.
And they can in their time that they have. So
Okay.
that can happen. Sometimes we have to increase a little if we have too much enrollment in certain areas and decrease. So that would account for that ebb and flow.
And I like that the extra line for preschool and obviously bilingual is new this year, but spiking those out is a good indication. So obviously, as you said, that adjust the other numbers, but it's good to see that. So next year we'll see the 11 to whatever is
Right.
for next year, right?
Right. Correct.
Yep. Any other questions or comments, Ms. Beatrice?
Just a quick clarification. I just want to make sure I understood. So the preschool teachers, the 11 is a mixture of special ed and regular ed
is.
teachers. Okay.
Right, correct. So some of our kindergarten teachers moved down to preschool. Those would have been general education teachers. They would have been counted in a kindergarten teacher population, so they would have been for the whole school account, where some of the teachers who work in that program are special education and used to be counted in the special education count. And so now they're just all teaching preschool, some half day, some full day, and we account for them under the preschool line.
Okay. But then there's, but they're able to very quickly identify needs of our preschool students who maybe haven't had any intervention, but like,
Oh,
this would be their
absolutely.
first touch, so.
Absolutely.
And then that communication continues on going forward.
Yes, we still, even if a preschool teacher is a regular education teacher, they still have a special education case manager, so we can identify any needs that are necessary immediately.
Thank you.
Mhm, absolutely.
Ms. Weaver?
Yeah, thanks for this. Just want to scroll down. I think, do we have a year-over-year total change in all positions?
We do.
Okay, maybe
It's
just
right there.
thinking as we, yeah, I'm saying for budget season, just if we have a historical record of that too, just as we go into budget, kind of how that looks based on need and knowing, obviously it helps when we spoke it out to know where we're being responsive to. Because folks will say, oh, 8 positions. Oh my gosh, is that, or 8.6 or whatever, like that's going to be, is that all, why do we need more teachers or this kind of thing? So obviously the breakdown helps, but just kind of seeing where the trend is to show the need that has increased, particularly, I know the special education one.
Specialty areas.
Yeah,
is where a lot of this
is
goes.
very much where it goes, just so we can kind of identify where those pain points are over the years. So just, I don't know how far back. It doesn't have to be a lot. I mean, obviously, maybe post-COVID.
Do you have a recommendation? Yeah, right.
Yeah, I would say probably just the last
COVID?
Yeah, post-COVID.
Perfect.
I think it
Okay.
is more, because obviously that's where we're seeing those.
21, 22?
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe if we have pre-COVID numbers, just to see, maybe 2019. I don't know. 5 years is, I think, yeah.
5 years?
Okay, Tim says 5 years, so that's fine.
I'm sorry, well,
Tim
5
says
years,
5
5 year
years,
look
so
back.
5 years.
Yeah.
Okay, we can do
whatever
that.
Tim says.
And I think the
Yeah.
data will show,
Yeah.
but it primarily is the preschool, right? We've
Yeah.
improved our preschool, which is phenomenal.
Yep.
And our related services in special education. Yep.
And sorry, this is written, but preschool, is that included in our enrollment numbers too now? Or no? Sometimes it
Yeah.
Yeah.
is, yeah.
we
It is,
include
it is, okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, just as, because I know it's going to be sometimes people use the large per pupil and all these things, and I'm like, okay, well,
this has the breakdown of it. I think that's more clear.
Yeah, we have an enrollment summary that we have every month. and
Right.
That would show you the
When
breakdown.
everything is going in and now, and it's been pretty steady, almost declining just a little bit. So I just wanted, but we're increasing a lot in preschool. So I just,
Yeah, and our special ed numbers, similar to the state,
Yeah.
are going up, percentage wise. And, we're not above the state average, but we're increasing in a similar trajectory.
every day.
Every day.
Just so as we go into budget season, would appreciate that. But thank you for this.
Dr. Stanley?
I just had a clarifying question. So John Wallace increased 1.2 FTEs. Is that part of it is coming from the aerospace? I can track one, but where's the other 0.2 coming from?
That other is coming from, so they actually 1.0, John Wallace, did something to help support their students a little differently. They traded in, so we've shared with you, I think before, that we struggle with hiring paraeducators. And so when we have a lot of vacancies, we're without. And so Wallace was noticing that Dr. Brummett, offered the opportunity that, well, instead of us trying to fill those vacancies, which are very hard to do right now, we would maybe have better luck if we just put in a special education teacher and you trade in 4 of those vacancies that would account for that same financial impact. So they did that. And so that would be the 1.0. And then the other percentage was coming from the academies. The academies are from both schools. It's a little bit of, yeah.
But the aerospace is the only one that lost the FTE on this. Am I saying that right? From the 2.6 to the 1.6 or the 2 to 1?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so I could see where that would translate to the John Wallace change, but you're saying that that change for team teachers came from special education teachers.
We did that. Yeah, we did have the aerospace, move into more of the math and the sciences. So we had that increase. The 1.0 I'll have to look into for the aerospace part, why it's 1.0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Let's see.
So thank you, Mr. Freese. More to come on that. In next meeting, we'll go into what that translates down to class sizes and the work that Mr. Freese has done, meeting with every principal to assess projections for next year, along with this data to determine if we can reallocate staff, or if any new staffing needs arise.
Thank you, Mr. Parisi.
Thank you.
Okay, and the next item is just a discussion. We were asked to, or I was asked to, assign a board member to, the Human Rights Commission. We haven't done it in the past, and they haven't met since, 2017?
Yes, 2017 is.
So, since it's human rights and I love social work, I just assigned myself, but I don't know if it's gonna ever meet, so we'll see, but that's what that is. Yeah.
This page
So,
just shows
yeah, so
the,
it's just
the
the
new committee.
same, yeah, all the same committees, and then just added the Human Rights Commission on the bottom. Go ahead.
Just a point of note too, we'll be adding the communications and that kind of stuff. So an update just to board members. So the community knows we're trying to work on getting a new committee that will be updated in policy, why I'm saying this. We, I think, are one of the few towns that actually put what the committees do and are charged with in our policies. Learned that. Most people just have a very generic nondescript one. So we're doing that into policy. So once we bring those policies forth, we can kind of move forward, but would welcome board members' inputs on what they would like to be charged with. We came up with a lovely draft, but that will be getting sent to you. So then you can opine on that and would appreciate if you opine on that. Sorry, just wanted to use that time.
Awesome, yes.
Oh, yes. And maybe doing a Board of Ed newsletter.
Yes, to increase our communication and thank you, policy committee. I'm very much looking forward to that new, yeah. Yeah, definitely we will bring back this agenda item when we have another update to our committee assignments.
Or if you have interest. Sorry.
Interest on being on,
Yeah.
yeah, oh yeah. Any other comments on that? No, okay. And we have a discussion and possible action on budget transfers.
Yes, I'm going to kick us off and then turn it over to Lynn. But every year, we routinely have to balance the budgets throughout the school year. And now is the time when we want to report to the board on what was done. So I've asked, Lynn was working on making it align to how we are going to report our budgets for the upcoming budget season, which is, as many know, is well underway. So she took the time, and that's why we're doing it probably a meeting later than we normally do. I want her to explain how she's organized this, and it'll be very similar to what you see in board budget books in the coming couple of weeks. So Lynn, I'm going to kick it over to you to kind of explain what you've done here and why we still have money in the budget. We've just been shifting it around a bit. Take it away.
So the report that you see, it outlines budget transfers through December 31st. Our goal was to keep you fully informed on how we manage our resources to support transparency and trust in our financial processes. These reallocations result in net changes of $0 to our board's budget. What we have done is we've created new accounts to separate educational technology from technology so that you can see education for what it is and clarify its focus to improve its transparency, emphasizing educational initiatives over the day-to-day technical needs of the school district. We have taken all of the apportioned amounts where teachers were put into the big 5 programs, and we have transferred those into elementary education. That's where you see that very large in the 1010 on the program. That was all of those pieces that used to be in language arts, reading, math, science, and social studies for K4. And for the 6 to 8 schools, we did a similar project, aligning them where the fractional FTEs were to what they actually teach in the district, hoping to make it more transparent and give a precise accounting of the full-time equivalences distribution across all programs and schools. So these are the outcomes of moving them to those places. Also, the administrative salaries that used to be fractionalized into each department have been moved to the proper departments. The human capital development, HCD, has been changed to that, and the salaries of the people assigned to that department are now there. The curriculum development has had the salaries that were apportioned 5% here, there, and everywhere into their own departments. And the rest of the changes are based on new people coming in that came in at a lower rate and any other transfers that needed to be done at that time.
Ms. Weaver? Yeah.
Thanks, Lynn. Very thorough. Thank you. Just on the point of the curriculum development, does that encompass all of the curriculum development done for the year, or for like the fiscal year, or for like total district curriculum development, or is it? Just want to clarify that point.
The people that were assigned to curriculum and development, the administrators, were fractionalized across the district, along with being in the 2320 central direction.
Okay.
So we took them from central direction and put them where they belong.
Okay, so this isn't necessarily covering the like
Curriculum writing, is that what
yeah,
you're asking?
correct, yeah.
No, the curriculum writing is in there
Is it,
also.
it's in there as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that was all that used to be in there for the most part,
So
was
this-
the minimal supplies that they needed.
Yeah,
And the curriculum writing. Now, the salaries of the people in charge of that are in those positions.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So in layman's terms,
Turn on your mic, please.
in layman terms, Lynn, all these salaries that used to be spread out everywhere are now in their proper places, right? That's what you're saying. They're not 10% here, 10% at Chafee, 10% at Anna Reynolds. They're all where they should be, so it's easier for us to read.
Yes, that is what
Basically.
you asked for. That is what we're
That's
giving
what
you.
we asked for. For those of you that are doing previous budgets, it was all spread out amongst other areas. And it wasn't meant to be confusing. I don't believe it was, but it was confusing because you didn't know who was where. Okay, thank you.
Just a question. So you said all the, in 1010, the elementary education, that's all of the elementary teachers for the 4 schools?
Yes.
And then, for middle, you said that they're like world language, math, they're broken up into the same departments as like what the high school
Correct.
would be in. Okay. And previously, was that done previously for?
They
the
were
middle?
apportioned 20%, 15%. It was
Okay.
the big 5.
Okay, okay. Okay, so now it's reflecting actual, like what the teacher is teaching
Correct.
in the right budget
So when
category.
you look at the reading 1026, those are now the reading teachers. That it was 3.5 million. We now need 1.4 million for the reading interventionists and the reading coaches. Correct.
Okay, okay.
Same for math.
So the money is all the same. It's just trying to bring clarity to it. Hopefully, at the first budget presentation, when you get your books, we will further illuminate our efforts to make this budget process more clear by showing school by school, who's in a school, how many positions, again, versus the percentiles that I think historically have made folks a little confused unintentionally. So we'll hopefully that process this year will be successful and people will enjoy the clarity of it. As a side note, in case anyone's worried or wondering, our budget is going along well. Our balance is fine. We are projecting to be in good shape for the rest of the year. Obviously, curveballs can occur, but we are right now in solid position with the budget.
Just to ask, I think I like this better because it's more reflective of where the money is being spent. If we're looking to compare year over year, it'll like account wise, it'll be more difficult. So we'll have to, yeah, the first year, but we'll have to look at like number of staff or like, we'll have to if you guys can just make sure to be clear, like where the differences might be. And because it'll be harder to see significant increases or decreases due to the reallocations.
Thank you. I think Lynn's going to comment on that.
We are actually converting last year's data over into this because we know the exact percentages
Okay, that
and the
was
people,
used.
so we can do the same thing into
Okay,
the new year.
Love it. Okay. Okay. Good.
So if all goes according to plan, the board will love our new budget process.
I mean, we do love budgets. So yeah, and then there's the reallocation that you discussed, and then as Lynn mentioned, there's like the stuff that always happens, like someone, whatever, the
normal adjustments.
normal day-to-day activities. So was there anything significant for the normal day-to-day, like budget adjustments that you could point out or need to point out?
There's nothing of great significance. Aside from some additional special education money that was moved in, but a lot of the extra money that is needed in special ed was taken from places where we had excess with, the people coming in. What words do you use for the people that come in lesser? Realized savings. It was realized savings.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have a motion. Go ahead.
I'll move the Board of Education approve the reallocation of funds from one program line item to another as proposed by the superintendent of schools.
Thank you. A motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Okay, we're voting on the reallocation of funds. Deb, will you do the roll?
Yes.
Todd Halloran,
Yes.
Marissa Lindsay,
Yes.
Timothy Newton,
Yes.
Parati,
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Brian Skibo,
Yes.
Dr. Gail Stanley,
Yes.
Jessica Weaver.
Yes.
Motion passed unanimously 9-0.
Thank you so much. And that brings us back to public participation on any matter related to board responsibilities. If you're in the room, you can come to the head of the table, or online, you can raise your hand. You have 4 minutes.
Oh, there she is.
A long but good day. Jen Rodriguez, 71 Northwood Road, Newington. I just want to say that the presentation that you saw earlier today is just an example of some of the best that we have here in Newington. I mean, she is honestly a treasure, and I hope she never moves. We shared her with another school at one point, and that was really hard for us. Because we just know how wonderful she is. Outside of doing that, for many years, she's also done things like math challenges for every grade. I sat through a presentation today at the State Board of Education and Legislative Policy Development Committee by CAPS and Miguel Cardona and the work that he's doing with CAPS. And it was talking about how do we prepare students for work, and how companies like Sikorsky are looking for people who are problem solvers, and they're willing to hire people really out of high school if they have certain skill sets. And I think when we're starting this young with those problem solving activities, it really sets them up for success in the long run. It's that build over time. So what you're seeing now helps our community later because organizations and companies want to invest in communities that have a workforce that's prepared for the work that they need. So that problem solving is really at the core of it. So when we see Mrs. Figueredo working with third graders or first graders, really setting that foundation to preparing them and attracting companies to our state, our town, that are going to be interested in the biomedical academy or the engineering academy, and how we're preparing students at a very young age. So Newington Public Schools, in my opinion, does a very good job with that. Additionally, I wanted to come here and say thank you, and Jason has already left, but Jason Smith is my principal, and actually, obviously, Dr. Brummett is my superintendent, and they have been very supportive in a lot of the work that I've been able to do at the state level, chairing the Connecticut Education Preparation and Certification Board, and representing Newington in those ways. And I just want to say thank you so much for fostering that leadership and that opportunity for me to continue doing that work. So thank you.
And that's it. Thank you, former Teacher of the Year, Ms. Rodriguez. We're so proud of you. Any other, I don't see any other online. Okay, remarks by board members. Ms. Weaver.
Sorry, I have to. I didn't get to say, I really, it's one of my favorite phrases, but just appreciated the emphasis on productive struggle. I think that is so, so important. You know, you never want to see a kid struggling, but you need them to engage with that. And I just, I'm so glad that that was the phrasing that was brought up tonight. So just want to thank everyone, all the parents that came out, all the students. Wow, just absolutely blown away as usual with how incredible and how just bright and amazing our students are and how they interact with us and the community. It's just, once again, sometimes you need those days where you like need restoring and hope of our future, and it just comes at the best time. So thank you for bringing that to us. And I just also wanted to note, I did note the same thing. I was
Ms. Rodriguez was right on point here, because I saw her face and I saw Dr. Brummett's face on NBC Connecticut the other day, or yesterday, today, I don't even know, but with the same thing, looking particularly at the announcement with Miguel Cardona and CAPS on students graduating with associate degrees in May before they graduate high school in June. And really just looking at kind of the employment numbers, particularly underemployment with students with college degrees, just kind of where the labor market is at right now. You know, it's always our goal to be responsive to, you know, where students want to go post Newington Public Schools doors. And I just wanted to emphasize it's great to continue to see Newington represented both at the administrative level, teacher level, all of these things, to be able to support initiatives like this that I think are responsive, that when these students leave our doors, they are critical thinkers, they are able to global citizens, and they are able to truly embody the portrait of a graduate and be able to actually pursue post-secondary things. And if they so choose, have an associate's degree already set as an option. And I think that's just one of the things that I'm really excited about. So I was going to highlight the same thing. Should be not surprised that our students, our teachers, and are already thinking of those things, but just wanted to say thank you for that, because I think it's one of those things we'll continue to think about. And as we enter into budget season, just encourage board members to ask questions and thank our staff in advance for all that they do, because I know it's going to be a lot. Thank you.
Mr. Newton.
I just want to say that with the upcoming budget coming, and we're bound to have disagreements, but I can't emphasize enough the importance to our youth to continue our direction in the mental health area, because it's not something new. It's been there when I was in high school, but nobody dealt with it. It's important that they have the opportunity and the avenue to have it dealt with. And mental health leads to substance abuse back to mental health. They're all intertwined. So we just need to make sure we have the tools there for the students.
Thank you. Well, Sean's not raising his hand. Yeah, I'll just add kind of what Mr. Newton was saying, just kind of ahead of budget season, or we're in the middle of it, but for us to talk, Dr. Brummett and our team has been in the middle of it for quite some time, but I think this meeting really kind of calls to the importance, or like we saw firsthand the importance of our, you know, mental health support, especially at the high school, but at all levels, it's really necessary. And then the importance of our coaches. I know there's been a lot of discussion, like why do we have math coaches, or why do we have interventionists, and just those positions are really important for this kind of extra support for students. And like Mr. Smith was saying, like giving this opportunity for every student in the school, or every student in 3rd and 4th grade potentially feature in the school, but to have those extra learning opportunities, because it's, you know, not everyone gets to do the cool things. Like with the old gifted and talented, it was only a select group of people that got to do extra things. And I love that they came here and showed us that everyone is able to do it, and everyone is getting something out of it. So I think just want to reiterate the importance of having those, you know, those supportive positions that are really important to just kind of enhancing the education experience that everyone is getting here. So yeah. And obviously our mental health is needs to continue to be a focus so kids can learn. Any other? No? Okay.
Oh, just next meeting is budget, right? Or presentation with the town. No, sorry, one more.
We have one more regular meeting, and then February 4th, the invitations have been sent. And I believe we'll have a good turnout of our town colleagues to hear our budget presentation.
Yes. Motion to adjourn. All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Tim Newton seconds. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thanks, Sean. Feel better.
Feel better, Sean.
8:43.
Thanks, I just lost my voice.
Thanks for coming on, Sean.